The truth is an irony, just like animal farm. Justice mean inequity, so who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Christian can say silence, Islamic leaders silence, kings and queens silence, traditional leaders silence. So who go say the truth? We are the workers of composite call. Now by a wine over. We are the workers of composite call. One guy's wine over. Who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Oh, you need it to see what I see so. Now your friend on an iron come at them. Only papi obeka nice and yeah. So I want one over you two. Everybody was afraid. And until I to my cottage again, once my boy dumping one and I cheat. But who go tell the truth? Nanai or say me. Nanso bien person beka wasam because everybody is afraid. Anya safwe muayini. Aku draw for nyina dalima. Who go say the truth? Obiaja konson so to grow your man set to me be a cacobrafo. If I nina yet, if when you know yet. Na so kutrata down so be dia back or why no keke. I fene for be man mo pia for efwe. No cross on my mo. Anya safwe mo ayini. Aku kutro for nyina dalima. And who go say the truth? Abaya di bote chino. Yedi bi bebo nyande bi. Kachisa would your mouth pipinuma. Would your mind never shine my preference? But who go tell the truth? TUC, silence. Even journalists, silence. So then who go say the truth? Right is right. Wrong is wrong. No matter how you justify. You say you wanna get rid of corruption. Someone want to help you. Now the person become your target. Jobless no they mean senseless. Poverty no they mean useless. One day them go resist.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to my view show here live on Today News Ghana TV, where, well, I would have loved to say every week, every Monday evening, we bring you the most topical socio-political discussion related to Ghana, to Africa, to the world all over. However, I am sincerely unable to do that, and this is because over the past few weeks, we have had some housekeeping matters that have prevented us from hitting your airwaves and your TV screens as regularly as we ought to. Fortunately, I am happy and pleased to inform you that those housekeeping matters have largely been dealt with, and henceforth, as we say in Ghana, God willing, we are going to hit your airwaves and your screens every Monday evening so that we can bring to you your best socio-political discussion as there is on air. Well, having said that, we would like to apologize to our viewers for the infrequent broadcast and telecast of this particular show over the past, couple of weeks. The last time that we were on air, which was 2 weeks ago, we tried something which I said we were going to repeat more. We're going to try to repeat more of. We tried some grassroots matters. We tried to delve into a particular municipality, and on that occasion, it was the Encounter South Municipal Assembly, where we did an in-focus on that on that municipality, try to find out what that municipality was all about, and to try to get our viewers and audience to understand and to get to know the opportunities that exist over there. If you are joining us from that municipality right now or today, we would like to know from you, is that something that you enjoyed? Are those kind of programs that you would like us to bring to you frequently? And if you are joining us from other municipal, metropolitan, and district assemblies as well, are these programs that will appeal to you? We are posing this question because we would like to tailor our programs to best meet your expectations so that we give you the things that you really want and the programs that you really desire. So that is why we are posing this to you. So if you are joining us, your feedback would be very much, appreciated. But for this week in particular, we would like to scale up our discussion a little bit from dealing with grassroots matters, as much as we enjoyed it the last time, to dealing with national matters. We would like to deal with matters that relate to the country in general. And but why stop at only national matters when we can as well deal with international matters? So we'd like to discuss national matters and relate them to international matters as well, and see how those can be of benefit to the country Ghana. And what am I referring to? Over the past decades, there have been something that's been called an international order, international diplomatic and economic order in the world, largely led by the Bretton Woods institutions, including the IMF, the World Bank, the UN, and what have you, which have dictated how the world economic order is run and the terms under which things have been conducted over the period. Now, somewhere in the late 2000s, an alternate organization sprung up, which was called BRICS at the time. And the founding organizations included emerging economies, including Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, to rival, not to rival in terms of hostilities, but to bring an alternative, platform to how things are conducted in the world. Now, fast forward sometime around 2017, at the behest of China, which was one of the founding countries, this organization was expanded to include countries like Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and United Arab Emirates, now known as the BRICS Plus. And this organization have existed over the time, and still hopes and aims to expand more, to cover more countries, and to bring some kind of equity in the international economic discourse. Well, with this dimension, or from this perspective, how does a country, an emerging economy like Ghana, tap into such organizations for its benefit? For its benefit, does this affect its relationship with the rest of the world? How can Ghana position itself to, take the position that its first President and Prime Minister, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, championed when they co-founded the Non-Aligned Movement? For this and other questions, we are going to be joined by somebody who has a grasp of these matters and who knows the integrities of such international economic dimensions. But before we get our guest for today online, we would like to welcome our viewers who are joining us online. We would like to say a very warm welcome to our listeners on Sakina Information Center in Tatali. Also, would like to say a warm welcome to our listeners on Adelimai Information Center. Also, a very warm welcome to our listeners on High FM 93.7 in Achuhimai in the Eastern region. Also, a warm welcome to our listeners on the King's Radio in Accra, and to all those who are joining us live on all social media platforms, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, on Instagram, on Facebook, and whichever platform that you are joining us on social media. We say a very warm welcome to you to today's discussion. So now, back to our guest for today. Our guest for today is somebody, well, who is currently probably situated in one of the, host countries or the originating countries of the BRICS zone. He is in the person of Mr. Micah. I hope I'm getting the name right. Micah Zing. Mr. Zing is the chairman of NDC Pro Forum Russia chapter, and he is joining us today to discuss the BRICS Plus. So beyond the West is the BRICS Plus, Ghana's golden ticket to its economic sovereignty. So we are happy to be joined today by Mr. Zing. Mr. Zing, welcome to the show today.
Thank you very much, and good evening to you, and good evening to your listeners and viewers all over the world.
How did I do with your first name?
Oh, I mean, it was good. The name is Micah, so
Micah, right?
Yeah, so you are right. And the last name is Zing, so you are absolutely right.
Perfect. Thank you very much for making time to join us on the show today. Like I said, you are based in Russia, which is one of the founding members of BRICS. So you would know a thing or two about the BRICS, and how the country Ghana can benefit, or well, in this present day, not everything is always beneficial, benefit or suffer from its association with BRICS. So in introducing you, we say you are the chairperson of NDC Pro Forum in Russia. On this show, we have had the privilege of speaking with a number of people from Pro Forum, from the lead founder of the Pro Forum, who have since passed away. May God rest his soul. To other members of the Pro Forum in the US and in Europe as well. But since you are joining us today, can you give us a little background about what the Pro Forum is all about and its relationship to the NDC party?
Thank you very much. And once again, good evening to you. Good evening to your viewers and listeners all over the world. Let me start by sending special greetings to the leadership of the Pro Forum here in Russia and our comrades all over the world. Let me extend greetings to the people of the Talesi constituency in the Upper East region of Ghana and the entire Green Army all over the world, especially those in Ghana at the moment. We just won Akwetia, so we are still we are still celebrating at the moment.
Calm down.
Having said that, the NDC Pro Forum, as the name goes, is a professional forum, or it's a professional platform where the intellectual capacity of the party is hosted. When I say the intellectual capacity of the party, I'm talking about the professional wing of the party. Those we have lawyers, teachers, nurses, doctors, and different fields, engineers, political scientists, and all over the world, professors around the world and all that. That is what the Pro Forum is all about. If you recall, several decades ago, there was this saying that the NDC party do not have the intellectual capacity, or do not have that kind of people in in the intellectual field. But that is not the same, because the Pro Forum has come to fill that particular gap that people used to say. For me, it was a claim, not even a gap. It was
Mr. Zing, it wasn't a claim. Your party had an organization called Veranda Boys and Girls. Remember?
I mean, you can say it in that angle, but what I'm trying to let you understand that was not something commissioned by the party, that this is our wing, this is part of us. It's an official component of the party. No. But the Pro Forum is an official component of the party that train the intellectual capacity of the party. And that is basically what the Pro Forum is all about. And that is what we use to engage in several activities. So in recent time, you can see that the most decorated party, or the party with the most intellectual capacity now in Ghana, is the NDC. No doubt about that.
I think you do make a good point there. In recent times, it appears the political landscape has shifted a little, and from the tag that the NDC was known by as a, if you like, people called it a Buga Buga party, party of market women and fishermen who are still members of the party and still integral members of the party. The party has expanded to include, intellectuals, as you call them, which is a plus to your party. And I would like to congratulate your party for making inroads to those territories. But it appears your opponents have drifted the other way around, to other matters. But that's a topic for discussion.
That's why they have a chairman called Chairman Buga Buga, because they are trying to go back to that tangent. But for us, we have moved past that. We welcome everybody, both professionals and non-professionals, but even those who are not within the professional wing, conduct themselves in such a way that you will not classify us as veranda boys or Buga Buga anymore.
Yeah, that's great. Since we have you, your party, NDC, has been governing Ghana since, I think, the 6th of January, 2025. What would be your honest assessment of let's governance in general, but the economy in particular? What would be your honest assessment of the situation of Ghana since your party took over the reins of governance of the country?
Thank you. As I will speak with the lens of as a political scientist, just try to provide you an honest opinion, or let's say a picture of what the economy is so far. I remember the day we took over office. I was there. I attended the inaugural ceremony. Ghana was not itself. You can tell a lot of issues had happened. Economic mismanagement. We had, of course, we are still in the wounds, but we're not out yet. But at least the situation was worse back then. But the change of government in itself alone brought some form of confidence onto the economy. And that you can see. We're barely 9 months in office or in power, but you can see if we want to talk about the economic parameters, the exchange rate has significantly changed so far. When we were paying for the dollar about 16 to 17 Ghana cedis, now it's around 11 to 12 Ghana cedis. Of course, people are saying that the currency is, devaluating, or maybe going back to its normal state, but no. And you cannot compare 12 cedis today to 17 Ghana cedis that was yesterday. So the exchange rate has improved. We have seen that the change of government has brought some investor confidence into the economy, and things are moving so well. Prices of goods and services are reducing. So far, so good. Thanks to Honorable Atufosin and the team working at the Ministry of Finance. We have also seen, aside from that, a cut in public expenditure, the unnecessary expenditure that we used to have. And that alone has also reassured the ordinary Ghanaian that things are going back to the better days of Ghana. So things have improved. And I can say that Ghanaians are quite happy compared to about 8 years ago. The performance of the government in general, I would say, is remarkable. We hope that we maintain this kind of performance in the next 4 years. And I'm sure NDC party will not need to campaign in 2028 to win power.
Well, that's an interesting hope, and well, we can only wish you well.
But you can see that because of the performance of the government so far, Ghanaians are dancing to the tune of the NDC. Look at the by-election at Akutia. Look at the rerun at Ablekuma North. And look at what is may the soul of Honorable Mutala rest in peace. Look at what is going to happen in Tamale. They know that they cannot contest that particular seat as well. And NDC winning this seat doesn't necessarily mean that the MPP are not working hard. They are working. But the thing is that the Ghanaians have seen the goodwill of the NDC party, and they have seen what the NDC can do. And that is why even in the places they claim is their stronghold, the NDC is getting seats from those areas. And the election, the 2024 election alone is a testament to the fact that the MPP was a failure to us in the past 8 years, because places they considered their strongholds all were taken by the NDC.
Well, lots of people would say that these are early days yet. 9 months into the governance of a country is at its infantile stages, and that a lot of things can happen. Like they say, that in politics, 1 week is a lot of time in politics, so lots of things can happen. But before we go back, we'll come back to, there are some things you talked about the economy that we'll come back to. Mm-hmm. But in order to situate the discussion properly, today we want to discuss a lot about the BRICS and its relations to Ghana and matters arising. In order to have that discussion, in the introduction, I mentioned a thing or two about the BRICS and how it came about. But it would be of interest to the viewers and our viewers and listeners for you to give us a background of what the BRICS is all about, how it came into being, and what it stands for in this current economic circumstances.
Great. Thank you very much. The BRICS have had a long history so far since its inception in 2001. But I will try to give you a rundown of a few important steps or scenarios as far as the BRICS is concerned. So the BRICS generally is a group that was formed in recent times. I will call it, is formed by 11 countries with the sole aim or objectives of strengthening economic, political, and social cooperation among member states, as well as increasing the influence of the global South countries in international governance or affairs. When I say 11 countries, you can tell some of these countries. For example, the first 4 countries that began BRICS, which is Brazil, Russia, India, and China, and South Africa, who was added in 2011, making it 5, and the recent 6 countries that were brought on BRICS after the Johannesburg Declaration in South Africa in 2023, and these countries include Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Ethiopia, Egypt, and you have Iran, and you have Indonesia. So this makes up the 11 countries. Just like the Bretton Woods institutions, the BRICS also, the aim is to improve its legitimacy and also equity in participation. The overall goal is to bolster sustainable socio-economic development among member states, as well as social inclusion. The name, before I even come to the name, BRICS operates in 3 main pillars. One of the fundamental pillars of BRICS is politics and security. And under this particular pillar, what they do is that they try to enrich the political discourse within the global world. And in this case, protecting societies, especially countries that have been in instability, kind of providing security, and also working against terrorism or terrorist attack within neighboring states. So in general, destabilization and instability is one of the key things as far as that is concerned, and contribution to humanitarian activities. The second pillar is economy and finance, and this involves inter and trade among member states, improving economic development and economic parameters among member states. And the third pillar is the P2P, people to people, or what they call civil society. And in this case, this takes care of the capacity building of the member states, including education, technology, and many other avenues that could improve cultural exchange, humanitarian exchange, and all those things among member states. So these are the three key pillars BRICS operate on. The origin or the concept or idea behind the acronym BRICS was coined in 2001, and that is the beginning of the emergence of BRICS in 2001. At first, it was BRIC without the S from South Africa, and this name was coined by the chief economist of the Goldman Sachs Investment Bank. He was called Jim O'Neill. He coined the name BRICS to celebrate, or let's say acknowledge, the gains or economic improvement that these four countries had made back then. That's just Brazil, Russia, India, and China. And after this name was coined, after 2001, the government of these countries made concerted effort to form a formal forum, which was then called BRICS. By then, South Africa was still not part. The first meeting, although they don't classify it as an official meeting of BRICS, was in 2006. And this was under the level of the ministers of foreign affairs of these four countries. And it was in the margin of the, it was just in the margin, more or less like the one we have in UN. And in 2009 was the official first BRICS meeting, which was held in Ekaterinburg in Russia here, which brought up the head of state of these four countries. After 2009, prior to 2009, you can see, 2008 during the world financial crisis, just like the way the Bretton Woods institution were providing proposals and a suggestion on how to improve the economy of the entire world, the BRICS also provided proposals also on how to improve the economic situation of especially emerging economies or lower economies. And after the 2009 forum in Ekaterinburg in Russia, in 2011, the acronym S was added to the BRICS, making it BRICS, and the S it stands for South Africa. So South Africa joined in 2011 or 2011, and from 2011 they've had meetings, yearly meetings, and purposely just to meet. It was formed like an informal forum for dialogue on how to improve the economic situations of these countries and how to solidify and democratize issues within the global world order. And in recent times, in 2023, during the Johannesburg forum, or they call it Johannesburg Declaration in South Africa, they came out with the modalities of adding several other countries. So in that case, they came up with two layers. They had the BRICS members and the BRICS partners. So in that forum, 6 other countries were adopted as part of the BRICS members. And this took effect in 2024 when the additional 6 countries were added. That's the Saudi Arabia, UAE, Indonesia, Iraq, Egypt, and Ethiopia. And within this particular period was when the BRICS partnership or partner countries were also formed. And so far, BRICS have had 10 partner countries. And these countries include Belarus, Bolivia, Cuba, we have Nigeria, we have Uganda, we have Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, we have Vietnam, we have Thailand, and so far. So these are the 10 countries that form the BRICS membership. Now, in 2024 alone, about 30 countries applied to be members of BRICS. 30 plus, actually, to be members of BRICS.
Interesting.
And the modalities of selecting them, of course, we'll get into that later. But these are some of the things that BRICS was doing. So the members of BRICS participate in all forms of meetings. The partners of BRICS, they are admitted to certain meetings. Basically, the partners of BRICS participate in what we call the BRICS Counseling and Leadership Summits. But sometimes they are invited to several other meetings in BRICS. Aside from these activities, BRICS also have some components. For example, they have the youth wing of BRICS, which is that they organize program. For example, last 2 weeks they had the BRICS Summer School in South Africa, which just ended last week or so. And they also have, for example, South Africa have what we call the BRICS Outreach program. And this BRICS Outreach program is basically meant for the African countries within the particular geographical area. So all the African countries that participate in BRICS can meet in that. China also form what we call the BRICS Plus program, and which is meant for non-geographical area countries to participate in dialogue on how to improve the economic activities of BRICS. So basically, this is a brief history about what we have been doing. It has evolved so far. The number of membership have increased. They've had series of partnerships, and in fact, in recent time, it's said that the world, the IMF acknowledged that combination, or let's say the BRICS countries, adding the 6 countries that have been added, gives us about 39% of the world or global GDP so far. So it tells you that they are doing so well in recent times. Thank you.
Well, interesting. That's thanks for the education. That's quite comprehensive and broad and cross-cutting. What we would do would be that we would take a very broad question from you concerning the economy. Then probably we'll take our first break, and then when we come back, we'll delve into the specifics of BRICS and what the BRICS can do. So now, in your submission, you talked about the 3 pillars of BRICS. What I can glean from it, especially from the first one, is which is something that's heavily focused on the economy. Prior to the 2024 elections, the NDC party campaigned very heavily on the economy. Especially key thing among the campaign was the 24-hour economy, which, if you when we look at it in recent times and how it's been manifested, translates into something like trying to achieve economic sovereignty, which is the promise of the 24-hour economy and the NDC. Now, concretely, what would the BRIC membership or partnership deliver to the ordinary Ghanaian in the next 2 to 3 years? If somebody is listening to you and looking at the BRICS as you've already described, is something that is very refreshing on the global scene, what would membership or partnership of the BRICS, or how it's going to translate to the ordinary Ghanaian in the next few years, in the short to medium term?
That's a good question, and there's no straightforward response or answer to this particular kind of question, because from where I sit, there are 2 areas. BRICS does not just joining BRICS doesn't necessarily mean you are going to enjoy, or there are some benefits that you are going to probably accrue from it.
Okay.
It has its benefit and has its challenges. And if you were listening to my submission, I made it clear, and I'm very careful when I'm choosing my words, that it is an informal forum or platform basically meant for dialogue among these countries.
Okay.
This does not necessarily mean that they don't have economic benefit. They do. To the ordinary Ghanaian, people just feel like, we get some support from IMF, well, but let's join BRICS. We will get this particular kind of support. Of course, we will get some form of support, but the level at which you anticipate to get may differ. But let me try to talk about the benefits so I could tie it up with some of the challenges we may get. Theoretically, as a member of BRICS, you can benefit a lot as far as the economy is concerned. So far, we are already trading or working with BRICS countries, just that we are doing it in isolation. If you look at the Ghanaian economy, in let's say in 2024, China has been our leading partner when it comes to trading so far. China, 2024 alone, China invested about $11.84 billion in Ghana. $11.84 billion. That made China the leading trading partner of Ghana. If you take India so far in 2024 invested close to 3 to 4 billion, making India one of the trading partners or largest trading partners in Ghana. Brazil, not so much, but around $763 million. Russia, even amidst the sanctions, still invested not less than $1 to $2 billion in Ghana. Let's take in the year 2024. So it tells you that Ghana is already doing something with BRICS country, but not in the name of BRICS, but individual countries. Now, joining BRICS simply means that you can increase, when we talk about the economy, let's start with the economy, you can increase your trading portfolio. And this could result to increased import and exportation, maybe under certain circumstances or subsidies or reduced prices. That is one way. Another form of economic benefit in joining BRICS is that, don't forget, if Ghana joins BRICS today, it becomes more or less like you can use your membership as BRICS as a bargaining tool or a negotiation tool with other partners. And that's what Egypt is doing. Egypt is with BRICS, Egypt is with all other multilateral organizations. But joining that alone don't forget that they are more or less like in a competition with other institutions. They feel like they are competing with each other. So joining one particular wing simply means that you have a bargaining power over the other when it comes to decision making or economic decisions. So joining that can easily help you to also bargain with other forums or multilateral organizations to get some kind of support. Ghana is produces a lot of cocoa, gold, and all that. We can get market in this BRICS member country for our raw materials and even processing of these materials. Like I mentioned in my submission, Belarus is a partner country of BRICS. If you check in the statistics in recent times, Ghana import a lot of fertilizer and farm machineries from Belarus. Russia and Belarus are just like neighbors. Russia also has a lot of fertilizer and all that, and Ghana can benefit from. So joining BRICS also means that we will have access to certain agricultural machineries. Nigeria is a member of BRICS. I mean, a partner, not even a member. Rosatom has invested some kind of resources, or let's say money, in the nuclear power in Nigeria. Joining BRICS simply means you can have you can have access to development of your nuclear power or nuclear plant. Electricity is a problem in many African countries, including Ghana. And we know what China and Russia can do when it comes to electricity. So these are some benefits you can get when it comes to the economy. And the last but not the least, but most important one is the BRICS Bank, the new development bank, which is a bank that is being instituted by the BRICS member countries to mobilize resources to finance infrastructural development projects in developing countries.
We'll delve more into that in the next session. Yes. So it's interesting. So from your submission so far, it appears that the benefits, well, if you like, quote and unquote, of being a member of the BRICS is multifaceted. It's not tied to only one specific sector, but cuts across several sectors. we've so far talked a lot about economics, but also has a lot to do with international diplomacy as well.
Exactly.
So on this note, we'll take our first break. We'll allow you to. What do you drink in Russia? Do you the tea vodka?
I mean,
yeah. So whatever beverage of your choice will allow you to sip a bit of it, and then relax a little. Then we join you in a few minutes after a break so that we can go a little bit further into some of the details of the things that we have discussed in the first part of the show. So viewers and listeners, if you are joining us, you are still here live on MyView Show, here live on TodayGhanaNews TV, where today we are discussing the BRICS and looking at how the BRICS Plus can be Ghana's golden opportunity to its economic sovereignty. And we are fortunate to be joined by Mr. Mike Azing, who is the chairman of NDC Pro Forum in the Russia chapter. So we are going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back shortly to delve deeper into the topic for today. So go nowhere, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Africa unite, 'cause the children wanna go home. Yeah.
Greetings, my name is Ras Mubarak. I'm a former member of parliament in Ghana. On the 18th of August, we're going to begin a very historic journey. A journey driving through 39 African countries. That's going to take us well over 4 months, driving for 600 hours, over 40,000 kilometers. And this initiative is endorsed by the government of Ghana. Why are we doing this? We want our continent to unite, and we want our people in Africa to be able to travel within Africa without visa restrictions. You see, Africa has enormous potential beyond anybody's imagination. And if we are united as one people, one continent, if there are no restrictions for us to travel to each other's country, you have no idea what we can achieve together. The economic benefits are enormous. You know, the cultural exchanges, the opportunity to, study and learn and tour and see each other's country is just amazing. And so we want you, my friends, to support this. And we appeal to African governments to support the initiative so that together we can make Africa visa-free now.
Africa unite, 'cause the children wanna go. What we say, youth man, before you make up your mind, think before you take up your nine. We say the hottest part of date, know who did, who you did left behind. What we say, youth man, yeah man, this is your side, the Soul Journey Warrior representing for Today Ghana News TV. It's the best web TV across the continent of Africa. They transmit via satellite and all their social media platforms for your best developmental news, social programs, empowerment, entertainment, sports, and for the best educative political discussion. Today, Ghana News TV, 24/7's online TV. I aside the Soul Journey Warrior. Blessings.
Well, welcome back to MyView Show here live on Today Ghana News TV, where this evening we are discussing the BRICS Plus and exploring as to whether that is an opportunity for Ghana to gain its economic sovereignty. And today we are joined by Mr. Mike Azing, who is the Pro Forum chairman of NDC Russia chapter, who is helping us to explore this topic further. But before we continue to take a look at the views or messages from our viewers, we would like to welcome back our viewers in Sakina Information Center in Tetali. Also welcome our viewers on Adelimat Information Center. Also welcome our viewers on High FM 3.7 in Achimai, and also to our listeners on the King's Radio in Accra, and to all our social media viewers and listeners, we say a very warm welcome to you and thank you for joining us. Now, let's take a few comments from our viewers and listeners. Mavis Boateng, good evening to you and thanks for joining us. You say greetings, greetings. You are watching with the family from Lisbon in Portugal. Thank you very much, Mavis, for doing the listening. Frimpong Bafi, you say good evening, Albert and your team. Good evening to you as well. You are watching from Akusi. I would like to hear from the MC of Ashaiman on your show. Thank you very much for that feedback. We'll work on it and we'll try to deliver on that. NDC Diaspora Union, you say yes, the NDC has become an intellectual party and MPP has rather become Booga Booga Party. Good job, comrades. You are watching from Amsterdam, Holland. Thank you very much, NDC Diaspora Union, for doing the watching and for joining us as usual. Jaframa TV, you say good evening to you as well, and greetings from Rara in OT. The economy has significantly improved, but goods and services are still high. I think you mean the price of goods and services are still high. I think that's something that the government would probably be working on at the moment. And in due time, we'll get somebody from the government to speak to us on why this is the case. Frima Oye, you say good evening to you as well. You are enjoying the show from Murphy. Is it? Yeah, Murphy near who? Thank you very much, Frima Oye, for doing the watching and the listening. And from you say good evening from Tatali in Northern Ghana and Sakina Information Center listeners. Thank you very much, Nanata From, for doing the watching, and thank you very much to all the listeners on Sakina Information Center as well. Robert Kimpe, you say very educative program and you're watching from Paris, France. Thank you very much, Robert Kimpe, for doing the watching as always. Sekapa family, you say Ghana should join the BRICS and forget about the World Bank and the IMF. You are watching from Jumapu, Nyako for Radio. Thank you very much, Sekapa family, for doing the watching. Lady Mal _2, you say you are watching on Twitch from St. Petersburg, Russia. Thank you very much, Lady Mal _2, for joining us on today's show. We are grateful to all our viewers and listeners who join us for every show and who do well to contribute to the discussion as well. We are grateful to you. So we welcome back our guest for today, Mr. Zing, to continue the discussion for this evening. Mr. Zing, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much. I've got some.
Yeah, thank you very much. Before we went on the went on a break, you mentioned one of the financial institutions by the BRICS Plus, which is the New Development Bank, NDB, which is often cited as an alternative to IMF and World Bank loans. Now, when you take a look at the operations of this new bank, or well, I don't know whether it's in operation or it's a proposed organization that's yet to take effect. How would the New Development Bank loans differ from the conditional loans of the IMF and the World Bank, and how would the NDC government ensure that funds from these are not tied to harmful conditionalities, as opposed to what is offered by the Bretton Woods institutions?
Thank you very much. When you say how will the NDC, let's not forget Ghana haven't joined BRICS yet. So your conversation is speaking as though we have joined and we are now planning on how.
All right, let's rephrase it. Hypothetically speaking.
Good. So
hypothetically, if Ghana were to be a member of the BRICS.
Good. So now it's clear. The New Development Bank is already in operation. It's not a proposal. In fact, so far they've accrued about $100 billion US. They've had about $100 billion US. They've expended about $32 $6.4 billion so far. 70% of the funds actually, of course, is coming from China, and that in itself is bringing some kind of rivalry among the member state of BRICS. That's why I started by saying that it is not it's just like a golden opportunity, or let's say it's kind of a rosy everywhere. There are internal issues within BRICS that people who are expert or who have expert knowledge on this can tell you for a fact that the challenges among BRICS member countries can be a limitation for African countries to join as well. But we will talk about that when we move forward. But what I'm saying is that this loan definitely differs from IMF or the World Bank or whatever, because as the name suggests, it was set up as a fund, or let's say to mobilize resources for infrastructure development in developing countries. And the word is developing countries. And the difference is that unlike the concessional loans we get from the IMF and all that, the requirements here differ. And the payment structure is also different. The interest rate that is put up in other countries is also different. So it's not that, and it's entirely something that is not that is not compared to what we have in IMF or World Bank. But the challenge here is that it does not also have a formal structure so far.
Okay. That
tells you what is expected to do. Yeah. Unlike the IMF, the World Bank, they have a formal structure. The World Bank and IMF are institutionalized. They are institutions that, kind of determine what is done at one point and the other. The New Development Bank is yet to get there. I don't know if they will, but if you ask me, it is not a structured organization that you can say that it has some kind of pillars that you can rely on and some kind of regulations. So this is the challenge that it may come with. And if, of course, there are benefits and negatives in everything. If you join as a country, especially coming from the development, Egypt have accessed loan from the New Development Bank. Ethiopia is doing the same. There are a lot of countries that have benefited from it, but it's not that rosy. And Ghana could also benefit if we become a member. But the modalities may differ. The modalities may be different compared to the IMF and other countries. But until we see a formal structure that tells or that details how the system is run and how the loan is given and repayment is done, we cannot say that it is a better option than IMF or World Bank. I don't think that's so.
Mr. Zing, I have a smile on my face. Because the allegation that developing countries have always had against Bretton Woods institutions have always been the heavy dominance of the West on the governance of those institutions. We talk about the heavy dominance of Western Europe and North America in the operations of World Bank and IMF. Now, if we have an alternative to that, and as you mentioned, about 70% of the funds coming to this new financial institutions coming from one country, is it not just moving from one bad situation to a better situation, rather than moving from a bad situation to a better situation? Because once another country has a majority stake in the organization, that means it has a majority voice in the organization and how things are operated. Do you not think that is a red flag?
Exactly. Exactly. It's a problem, because that alone, not just you are even looking at it at the other part of the discussion, but the immediate problem is that even countries that are within BRICS itself have issues with the fact that 70% of the fund is coming from one country. It brings about rivalry because they know that 70% coming from one country means the country will want to be in control. China wants to be in control because in the economic terms, they are more or less like holding the BRICS member countries. India want to be in front, or let's say be in charge, because they are also contributing immensely when it comes to the economic side. Russia want to be be in control because they are actually the mastermind behind the political activities of BRICS. Now, 70% is coming from one particular country. Countries that are within BRICS would kind of be skeptical in how they manage activities within BRICS. And that alone is a problem. Now, also talking about the fact that like the IMF and all those things are controlling the economies of these countries that take loans from them or whatever. What I see is that it may not be a problem because they have, again, the goals and objectives of each and every institution differ. The goals of IMF has even changed in several ways. The goals of World Bank has changed in several ways. The current goals and aims of BRICS may not necessarily be a problem if one country has this particular amount of money, but it will get there. Because whilst countries are beginning to patronize them and they see that countries are kind of begging on their knees to get some kind of support from them, they will tighten the rules one way or the other. And it will get to where the IMF, the World Bank is doing. The difference may be because they may not, unlike the IMF and the World Bank, that will have a dedicated team from their side managing your economy for you because you've taken some kind of financial support from them. The BRICS member countries don't do that. They don't tie their loans on some conditionality that do not employ, do not increase production or whatever. Your proposal determines the resources or let's say the fund or support you get from them. What they are interested in is your ability to pay back that particular fund. And that may be that is the difference I see here. Aside from that, there will not be much difference.
Well, yeah, but they may not be that difference, you know, in relation to the Bretton Woods institutions and what have you. But one thing that is clear and what can bring a difference is the relationship that emerging countries like Ghana is going to have, trying to balance its relationship with the West. If Ghana becomes a member or a partner of BRICS, for instance, how can Ghana balance its relationship with the BRICS ties with the existing Western aid and investment and partnership of securities that the country currently has with these Western institutions?
We have seen other countries, other African countries that are part of BRICS, and yet their relationship with the West haven't changed. Egypt is a strong member in recent times as far as BRICS is concerned, yet Egypt is still having good relationship with the West. Ethiopia is having good relationship with the West. Nigeria is just at our back door. Nigeria, although not a member, but is a partner of BRICS and still having relationship with the West. Don't forget, Ghana is non-aligned. We do not align to any other country. Everybody is our friend. We don't have enemies. You are only our enemy if you threaten our sovereignty. So we are non-aligned, but we see everybody as friends. So if we know that we can rely on you, we can get some form of support from you, then we will definitely fall on you to get that particular kind of support. So being a member of BRICS, again, what we should understand is that the modalities of these institutions are different. Why is it not a problem when Ghana is with IMF, but it will be a problem when Ghana is with BRICS? To me, that's inferiority complex. We are afraid of something, which I don't know what that is. Whatever support we get from BRICS does not mean that we are blocking our chance from whatever we can get from the West. We are just diversifying our portfolio, the support that we can get from different partners. And I mentioned earlier, if you are listening to me, I said that even being a member of BRICS alone can also be an added advantage on its own, not necessarily getting something from BRICS. But being a member of BRICS simply means that you have a bargaining tool or negotiation tool in your hands. The West will no longer, play you the way they do because they know you have an alternative. So that is a bargaining tool in your hand to get from the other side and get from the other side. It is what we call the balance of power. You are able to balance between these two. So we just need to have a strategic positioning of our partnership. And His Excellency, the President, said it during his inaugural speech that Ghana has to be strategic with our partners. And he reiterated the point that we are non-aligned and we are ready to work with any country that is ready to invest in Ghana. So if BRICS member countries are ready to work with Ghana, why not? And don't forget, you see, BRICS has a good future. The future for BRICS is very clear. The largest investors in Ghana now is the Chinese, China. Will the West say, why is Ghana working with China? No, because what China is providing for us is different from what the West is providing for us. China is part of BRICS. Is it because we are working with them in isolation? If we're working with them under BRICS, will you have this kind of thought that we may dent our image or, let's say, relationship with the West? No. Ghana and the West have had a long-lasting relationship. And I don't think joining BRICS could be the reason why we will kind of have a problem with this kind of relationship. It will exist forever. And joining BRICS doesn't necessarily mean that Ghana is out of the West. No, the West is part of us. The West has continually been our partner for quite some time. In the same way, BRICS member countries have also been our partners for some time. During Nkrumah's time, Russia was one of the partners of the African region. And Russia is still part. Russia only changed. In fact, Russia would have had much dominance in Africa than the West. But after the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1992, they changed their face towards Africa. Their focus was on addressing their, the needs of the country and kind of shifting towards the West until the 2014 crisis in Ukraine, that they came back to their senses that they need to rebuild their partnership with Africa, which I think, though a little bit late, but not too late. So,
talking about relationship between Ghana and the West, and the West and the rest of the world. One relationship that is very pivotal is the continuous use of the US dollar in international transactions. Now, one thing that the BRICS proposes is the use of local currencies for trading. Could the use of local currencies, let's say maybe trading between Ghana and Russia, and dealing with the US dollar as a middle currency in between these relationships, to dealing with the CD and what's the Russian currency again?
Rubles. Russian rubles. Yeah.
Good. Could this local arrangement, what does it? Would it that should realistically reduce Ghana's dependency on the dollar, right? And what would this look like for export and import in a country like Ghana if we lessen our dependency on the dollar?
To be honest, that is going to be if Ghana is able to do that, that is going to be a good opportunity. And I think that a few years ago, the African region started thinking of something like that. They wanted to even come up with a common currency that will be used for trade within the African region, and that could have been.
Even ECOWAS has not been able to succeed with ECO.
I mean, but it was a conversation that the regions within Africa had some time ago. The idea was, I think, after the creation of AFTA, the next conversation was to see if they can have a common currency for trade between these African countries, and that would have been the best option. Recently, you can also see that Ghana is beginning to discourage the use of the dollar, especially within domestic activities. If you want to purchase something, they want you to pay for it in the local currency, even with gold and all those things. So it is another way to strengthen our currency and to put some value on it. So, because what is a sovereign state? That's a question we should ask. When they say this country is sovereign, what does it mean? It means you are self-reliant. And a self-reliant state should not place your shoulders, or let's say be happy with different country denominations or currencies. doing business and everything with that, then what happens to your currency? That is why the dollar supersedes the cities. But countries that do not trade in dollar, they don't necessarily care whether the dollar has risen or has fallen. They don't care because they use the local currency. And it doesn't affect them much when it comes to their economic activities. So it is and doing that in Ghana doesn't necessarily mean that you are weakening the dominance of the West. The West will understand that every country and their parameters, like Russia is doing now. Russia don't trade in foreign currencies. No. In fact, even at the airport, you can ask people who travel to Russia at the airport, if you are going to pay something in dollars, it's not accepted. You have to pay it in ruble. So things have changed, and Ghana can reduce our dependence on the dollar, or let's say improve our currency by encouraging the use of the local currency or even regional currency, which they started communicating in business or let's say in trade and transaction. That could go a long way to reduce the price of import and export, because using the local currency simply means that you are kind of adding some value to the to your currency, because you are no longer going to purge it alongside with the foreign currency, which is the dollar or the euro or the pound. Right? It's a good idea.
Right. Let's wind down now. Let's try and wind down and bring the discussion this evening to one end. And winding down, one of the things that lots of people have had against membership of an organization like the BRICS have been their criticisms of the human rights records of countries that are associated with the BRICS, China, Russia, and what have you, even in recent times, South Africa and others. If Ghana were to become a member or a partner of the BRICS, do you think such an association is going to, what do you think would become the image of Ghana's association with these people in terms of its human rights and democracy credentials, considering the fact that some of the leading members of that organization have, if you like, quote and unquote, questionable records as far as democracy and human rights is concerned?
That's a brilliant question. Again, not a one-way answer to it, but before one can attempt to respond to this question, what you need to understand is, what is your definition of democracy? What do you understand about democracy? Who defines or who determines if a state or a country is a democratic state? The West. And we, the African countries, have adopted this hook, line, and sinker, thinking that we are practicing democracy. Democracy in itself is an enemy to many African countries, because we don't understand the concept of democracy. And even the countries that we tend to learn or practice democracy from do not behave the way we think that democracy should be. Again, you are talking about human rights records. What are these human rights records? Who determines what these records are? You see, there are always implications in every decision you make. It could be positive, it could be negative. When you are going into BRICS, you know the reason why you want to be a member of BRICS. And going into BRICS, again, doesn't necessarily mean you are out of the other institution. IMF, World Bank, UN, AU, whatever. You are still a member of that. So going into BRICS be the reason why you be classified as a bad guy? No. Again, who defines the bad guy? It is the people that are up there. And they use this to, it's kind of, again, I mentioned earlier that it is a form of competition between these institutions. So whatever they see that can be used as a tool to, fight against the other part of the bloc, they will use it. We are not living in a unipolar world anymore, even though the West will still not understand. But we're in a multipolar world. So people who are fighting to bring back the world into a unipolar world will find ways and means to ensure that we do not see BRICS to be a positive one. I am not necessarily saying that BRICS is good. No. there are a lot of limitations against BRICS. And I oftentimes advocate for countries to take their time, understand the concept, understand the idea behind BRICS before they make an attempt to join. Because it's not that rosy like the way people say, oh, move into BRICS and forget about the IMF and World Bank. You will still be in the same problem. If BRICS was the golden opportunity for people or countries to escape economic wounds, or let's say gain sovereignty, then we would have gained sovereignty since 1966, our first attempt when we made to the IMF. Since 1966, we've gone to the IMF 18 times. Why are we not considered as a sovereign state as far as the economy is concerned? You cannot say that the idea or concept of the IMF was meant to keep us there all the time, or to keep us coming back. Maybe in 1996, to the feed, to the save, and they had positive reasons. They had good intentions towards us. But we've not been sovereign still. The same will apply even if we move to BRICS. You understand? Whatever that is keeping us from not becoming a sovereign state will apply to BRICS. And I know I will say this when before we end the call. I will definitely try to reiterate it. But I'm just trying to say that there is no multilateral organization that can help you secure your sovereignty when it comes to the economy. If your hopes are that IMF, World Bank, or joining BRICS is the best solution or is the golden opportunity to become a sovereign state, then we are heading towards a failed state. In fact, we have failed in advance, excuse my language. If we have that hope that joining BRICS is a golden opportunity to secure our economic sovereignty, we have failed in advance. A state or a country should think of developing its own mechanism to become a sovereign state. That again, I mentioned earlier that sovereignty simply means self-reliance. A country cannot be considered self-reliant if all your data is stored outside the country. If even all your passports is printed outside the country. Even your currency is printed outside your own country. What shows you are sovereign? It's like a tenant living in a rented apartment. Your life is controlled. If your landlord says we lock the gate at 12, you either come at 12. If you come after 12, you have to stand outside and call severally before they come and open for you. The way you make noise is limited if you live in a rented apartment. The number of friends you bring into the house is limited if you live in a rented apartment. But if you have your own house, the way you manage, the way you do things is dictated by your own self. So our reliance on multilateral organizations, between wood institutions, BRICS, is going to be the same because we are going to be controlled. And they determine what we do and what we are not supposed to do. So the idea of sovereignty based on multilateral organizations should even be out of our mind as a state. We should reach a point where joining those multilateral organizations becomes irrelevant to our economic development. We just join them because of the prestige, being part of a certain organization and all that, and also contribute. We should not just only be at the receiving end. And we have what it takes to reach this particular level. It takes time, but of course, we have what it takes to do this particular kind of thing. And I think Ghana should be looking towards that, not necessarily debating whether IMF or the World Bank or the BRICS is a good option for us. None of them is a good option for us. No.
All right.
The good option lives within us.
I will come back to you on my final question, and it's basically going to be like I'll give an opportunity for you to address Ghanaians, and if you like, members of your party on the opportunity, on maybe probably opportunities that exist for the country and the party under or the country under the governance of the NDC, should it be a member of BRICS or be a partner of BRICS. But before I do that, let me take a few comments that have come in. Kwesi Nsia, joining us from Koforidua, he says that Mr. Zing is on top of issues. The future is bright with the young man. He say, and he's watching us from Anglo Town in Koforidua. Nyame Yao Boy, popular tea seller. Good evening to you. You say, good evening, you're watching from Nkwanta in the Oti region. You see, the last show with the MC of Nkwanta South was a very good and spot on Of course, it was good. It was he was your MC, so I expect nothing less. Zula, he says, good evening, Albert, and good evening to Mr. Zing. Great topic. I had a lot of misconceptions about BRICS, and I'm really learning. Veteran watching from Tanzania. Thank you very much, Zula, watching from Tanzania. This Ghana, you say bravo. You are making justice to the topic, and you are watching from Sunyani. Thank you very much, Vis Ghana, for joining us. Thank you very much to all our viewers who are joining us. So, in conclusion, Mr. Zeng, having had all these discussions and having talked a lot about the BRICS Plus, if you are a member of, you are the chairman of Proof. At the Proof Room, you are the intellectuals of your party. If you were to speak to members of your party, and by extension, Ghanaians, what would you say should be Ghana's anticipation, or how should Ghanaians view BRICS, and what should Ghanaians anticipate? Should it be a partner or a member of BRICS? What say you?
Thank you very much. And I think if, let me say that BRICS in general is a good platform. It has potentials, because if you look at the data, like I mentioned earlier, IMF indicated that the BRICS countries, including the 6 countries that just joined in 2024, has a share of 39% of the global GDP. IMF indicated in 2024 that BRICS economy so far has attained positive economic growth as compared to other economies. As at the time, BRICS countries were having 39% share of global GDP. The G7s, Bretton Woods institution, had attained only 30%. Now, the economy of BRICS countries is growing, has attained positive economic growth, with rates varying between 1.1 to 6.1%. Again, statistics have showed from Access to Information on the Environment, AIE, that 48.5% of the global population reside in BRICS member countries. That has, with a tendency of exceeding the global average of the next decade. Again, it shows that the BRICS countries cover a wide geographical area, especially with the inclusion of countries within the Middle East and Africa, which is true. And these countries have a huge population. These countries have the huge labor force. About 72% of the global reserves of rare earth minerals are within BRICS member countries. About 43.6% of the global oil production is within BRICS member countries. Example, countries like Saudi Arabia, countries like UAE, and all those countries. And about 36% of the world's natural gas is within BRICS member countries. 78.2% of the global production of minerals is within BRICS member countries. The percentages goes on, and it tells you that BRICS is the future. And if I had the opportunity to either advocate for or not, I would say that it is a good platform to join because of the potentials that it has to offer Ghana and even several African countries. Having potential doesn't necessarily mean that it's a golden opportunity to sovereignty. That I must say. There is, if you want, provide us with a lot of goodies from different countries that can help us come out from our economy. It doesn't still makes us sovereign. A sovereign state should rely on your own resources to develop, to improve yourself, and we have what it takes to do. But it is a good platform because it provides with some kind of support. It's kind of a parameter. It's not a sufficient condition, but at least it can help you to get to wherever you want it to be. And that's the reason why I think joining BRICS is good. But we should bear in mind that BRICS is not a wholly kind of multilateral organization. It has its flaws. And I mentioned earlier that in recent times, as we sit in present times, economically, we will not attain much from BRICS countries unless the isolation that I gave earlier. For example, working with them like China, like India, like Russia as countries. We are already at getting much from these countries. But coming together as BRICS would mean that we'll get a lot more. But at the present time, there are issues when it comes to economic support because the reliance is only on few countries. And political-wise, we are going to attain a lot of benefit because there's this kind of balance of power. Because it can't, like I said, the world order has been broken. It's not the way it used to be anymore. The world has changed. So there's no single power state, or let's say a unipolar world. We live in a multipolar world now. So we have that kind of balance of power. We have the bargaining tool that we can use to gain support from different platforms. We should not see BRICS as an enemy to the West, or maybe joining BRICS will make us look or lose our relationship with the West. No, it is just a bargaining tool, another opportunity or alternative that we can get it. So the West fail us, or let's say in case we are not able to get everything that we want from the West. And we're already seeing it, that we get much from China even than the West in recent days. So what stops us from joining BRICS? But one thing I just wanted to make it clear is that we can join BRICS as an organization. BRICS is not a multilateral organization. It's a platform, it's a forum, it's an informal forum for discussion and for improvement of economic activities within a particular state. So we should not see it as a ticket to sovereignty, because a sovereign state should be self-reliant. If our idea or our hopes is that we will join IMF, we will join BRICS, and then our economic problems will disappear, it is a lie. But joining that will at least give us an edge to attaining sovereignty in our state. But we should rely on our resources. We should try as much as possible to become sovereign using what we have, such that multilateral organizations such as BRICS and all that become irrelevant to us. But we only join them because of the prestige that they have. Thank you.
Well said. Thank you very much, Mr. Zing, for making time this evening to join us and to share with us these meaningful insights from your knowledge about the BRICS and how Ghana as a country can tap into that to develop. We are most grateful to you for your time, and we appreciate your time this evening. Well, viewers and listeners who joined us this evening, as you heard from our guest for today, Mr. Zing, joining BRICS is another platform that opens doors for us for development as other organizations that we already belong to. However, that is not to say, as our people say in a local parlance, that once you join BRICS, Yamutu, your problems are all washed away and your problems are solved, and that from then on, Ghana is going to become, heaven on earth. It still behoves on Ghana as a country to take matters into its own hands, to carve its destiny and to show the way and to work its way towards prosperity. And BRICS, like all other institutions, is only one platform and one tool that can help Ghana as a country get there. With that understanding, we say a very big thank you to our guest for today, Mr. Zing, who made time to join us. We are most grateful to you, as we are grateful to our listeners who joined us today for this discussion. For those who joined us on Sakina Information Center in Teteli, Adilima Information Center on High FM 93.7 in Achimai in the Eastern region, on the King's Radio in Accra, we say a very big thank you to you for your audienceship, and for all our viewers who joined us on all social media platforms, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and on all other social media platforms. We say thank you to you for making time to join us this evening. And until we come your way again next week with another interesting discussion, we say big thank you to you. God bless you. God bless our homeland, Ghana. Stay blessed. Stay safe.
The country where I come from, the truth is irony. Just like animal farm, justice mean inequity. So who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Christian can say silence. Islamic leaders silence.